Hello, good morning. This is Ann Briggs, and you are tuned to Saving the Niger Delta with Ann Briggs at 89.9 FM, Radio Garden City, the station with groove and style, style and groove. Good morning. Today is the 22nd of April. It's a Wednesday, and this is the time and the place that we usually connect. I hope you've had a good week, and I hope that everything is okay with everybody. We give God the glory. Right. We're still very much on coronavirus, COVID-19. We're still very much on River State, on Niger Delta, and on Nigeria. The news that is rapidly coming back at us, firing at us constantly, are not very encouraging. But we will continue to give God the praise. We will continue to thank God for every day that we wake up to face the day that we have woken up in. Because really and truly, as a believer, I know very certainly that a lot of what is going on in Nigeria and the way that we feel protected, because we are protected, is by the grace of God. Because there are other countries, as we all know by now, in the developed world where the COVID-19 has wreaked havoc, where people die in hundreds, 700, 800, 900, 1,000 on daily basis. And some of them are beginning to, some of these countries, they're beginning to level out. They're beginning to flatten out. And so they're beginning to discuss about how they're going to open up their space. But please, our people, we should learn from people who know better than we do. These people are opening up their spaces one step at a time. They're not opening up the whole country immediately, so that there is a surge, because the reality is that this thing is passed on. The funny thing is that it's not even only by person to person now. If I touch a door handle and walk through a school door or a shop door, if I pick up something that someone with COVID-19 has picked up in a supermarket, for instance, and drops it, and you know, we all do that. We look at things we want to buy and we put it down and we go and get something else. Now, if somebody has picked up this is a phone. If someone has picked this up and they have COVID-19 on their hand and they put it down and they walk away, you that don't have COVID-19, if you come in and pick the same thing up that the person who had COVID-19 has picked up and put down, you've gotten COVID-19. But you did not come in contact with the person who had COVID-19 or who has COVID-19, picked it up, transferred COVID-19 to the item and put it down. And you came and picked it up. You never saw the person. You don't know the person, but you've picked it up. You go home with it. You hug your child. You hug your husband. You don't wash your hands. You've transferred it. So these are the realities that we have to face. These are our realities. Not only our realities, it's all over the world. But it is worse for us because we are not socially and culturally, and our way of life, we are not a distancing people. We don't, we hug ourselves and we live in very close proximity. Your sister, her child, your brother, his child, your father, anybody can live with you. Even someone working with you, a help, can live in your house. Even if they're not living in your house, as long as they are coming to you every day, you run the risk every single day. If your driver comes, if your cook comes, you run the risk. This is not the time to have a cook. This is not the time to have a driver. This is our realities. Now, some of the news that, because all I'm doing is just sitting in front of the television, Googling, watching what's going on, doing research all over the world. In America, looking at what they're saying, looking at what they're doing, who they think is responsible, who they think is not responsible. These are all information that will help us, because we don't even have the capacity to even generate this information on our terms in Africa or in Nigeria or in the Niger Delta for ourselves. Now, there are states in the north that 2 weeks ago were saying that they're not going to shut down. Now, Kano was one of those states. But right now, there is ravaging deaths all over the place in Kano. Kano has recorded a lot of deaths in the past 48 hours. But Kano is not even owning up. Is not saying that these people died from COVID-19. They're not owning up to it. So that is a problem, because Nigeria has perfected the art of lying. They cover up everything. They tell a lot of lies to the people. And so, as I've always said in the past, you can only work with the information that you have. If that information is a lie, you will make your decision based on lies, and it will be the wrong decision because it is based on lies. You will only be able to make the right decisions for you and your people, either as a governor, as a senator, as a parent, as an employer, whatever, wherever you have to make decision on behalf of yourself and on other people, that decision must be based on facts. If it is not based on facts, you will still have to make decisions, but you will make the wrong decisions. It has become very clear. We have always said that. People in the civil space, I have always said that our politicians, especially the federal government, have never told the people the truth of any situation. They manipulate the situation, from the issue of Boko Haram to the issue of the abducted girls. At any step of the way, even for this government to come in, they told lies to come in, and they cannot, because they told lies. They are incapable of fulfilling any of the things that they said that they would do. That is because it is based on wrong information, and therefore they cannot perform, and they have no desire to perform. Now, this is where the discussion to move forward, we have to move forward while we establish the reality of today. What are those realities? The things that have been put in place based on what has worked in other places where people have died in their thousands. Now, based on those that we are copying, if you like, to try and deal with COVID-19 as it applies to us, because by the grace of God, not as many people are affected in Nigeria as they are affected in other countries. Now, if, for instance, you look at 36 states in Nigeria, Rivers State, Delta State, Akwa Ibom State, they've registered very low so far, maybe in single digits up to now. Now, if that be the case, then a lot more people will not die, are not going to die from it, because as far as the statistics that is coming out is concerned, the people who have tested positive to COVID-19 are few. But the question is, are those even the real figures? That's the question. Because how will you know if somebody have COVID-19 or have carried it if you are not able to test that person? So if we are doing, if we're able to test people, then we will be able to know if these figures that that is being dished out are the right figures or not. If we look, therefore, at what is happening in Kano, and we accept or suspect that it is likely to be COVID-19 that is happening, then I say to myself, and I want to say to you, that is what Governor Wike is trying to stop, or trying to make sure that Rivers State does not get to that level. And as difficult and as painful it is for Christians and for Christian leaders, pastors, and our fathers in the Lord, as difficult as it is for them, it is the Christian body that have taken the responsibility to shut down their places of worship. At the beginning, it was difficult, but right now, almost every church is abiding by the 50 per gathering, or the 50 per gathering, or not opening their churches at all. So this is good, and it is in our favor, and it is in our favor. Therefore, the things that we must do is to first of all put our state first. If you're from Delta State must come first. If you're from Bayelsa State must come first. Whatever state you come from, that state must be your priority. It is when your state is your priority that your region will be your priority. It is when your local government is your priority, and that's why a lot is put on the local government. For instance, Port Harcourt is the capital of Rivers State, and so most of the movements that I have seen on air and by information the governor doing is within the capital. And I don't think this is because he's only going to Ikwere places. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that because there is restriction of movement, and because the capital is the focus, he is not able to go to all the 23 local government areas, unless if he decides to start going to one local government or two at a time per day. And I want to suggest to Governor Wike and to the other governors in Niger Delta that they can move around to other local government areas. They need to encourage the people in other local government areas, need to see them in those local government areas. We need to see their presence in those local government areas so that the people know that the government knows that they are there. So this is a suggestion. And I also want to say that since I started broadcasting from the lockdown, from the 18th of March, I have broadcasted outside of the studio, but hooking into the studio because I am self-isolating. I believe that the governor can and should be able to touch base with the different local government areas, with the traditional rulers, and just make it possible that maybe only the traditional ruler and the secretary and maybe one or two other chiefs, if they can achieve the length of the distancing that is required, so that in the town hall, for instance, so that the people can know that governor came here. I think it is in the interest of the governor and the governors, and it is also in the interest of the people. I also want to believe that our senators and House of Rep members, that they've shut down. I don't know whether they've gone back. I don't think so. But if they have shut down, then I want to believe that they are in their homes, in their states, in their constituencies, because their constituents also need to see them. It is not just only about a handful of grain of rice. It is not about that alone, or 2 packets of Indomie. And I'm not really criticizing governments in the way that they are doing the palliative. The criticism will only come if they are claiming, like the federal government is claiming, that they've dug graves for 2 billion or how many billion naira. I mean, it's sick. If it is true that the Minister of Information said that, is incredible. We've become the laughing stock of the world, where people are asking, jokingly saying, your country is digging graves. Have they dug your own? It's not funny. It is not funny. You don't make statements like that. You don't give people in the north 20,000, 60,000, 40,000 of money that is coming from the Niger Delta, and then you're not giving people in the Niger Delta any money at all. But that's okay. Let it be on record that that is the way the federal government behaves, because it gives us a better opportunity to argue our case for the future. And our case for the future is definitely a case of desperation. We have to insist that we must be able to sit down. The government must agree, the federal government must agree by the end of this year with the state governments and the governors and the regions, the 6 geopolitical regions, to hold a discussion. Now, whether they hold this discussion by region with the geopolitical regions of all the different states talking with the government, or whether they want to do it by state, that is their business. But whichever way they choose to do it, the people must be part of this process. Now, I wanted to also say that, that I think in my last broadcast, I actually mentioned, as I've mentioned other things, but it became very clear to me because I was receiving calls and messages that the borders, especially in Rivers State, that the borders were porous, and that the people, the police, or they set up to watch the borders, were letting people in for as little as 200 naira. People were calling me to say, my neighbor went to so state, and he was away with his family for 2 days, and he has come back to Rivers State. He has come back to Port Harcourt. Now,
NBC has called the station that you should prove what you just said, or you should retract your statement.
That what?
I don't know what it is.
Hey, then ask them now.
I'm asking them. They are not answering. So.
There is a break. There is a break in transmission. I have just received. So what is the thing?
You have what did you just say?
I don't know. They should say it.
Carry on with your life, please.
There is a break. There was a break in transmission, and that break in transmission is coming because this is a live program. I'm broadcasting live. I'm doing self-isolation. I'm doing live broadcast, and I'm getting the feelers that NBC is saying that I said something which they want me to retract.
That or call the federal government liars. Don't worry, carry on with your program.
Well, that I said the federal government lies. Well, I mean, this is not something that I will prove on this program, but there are documents, there are things to prove. So that will be addressed on a different day. We're talking about issues of life and death. we're talking about issues of COVID-19. So if the issue is that federal government wants me to prove where they lied, that I believe they have lied, I mean, that one is not a difficult thing. We shall address those issues when this crisis is over. So now, in terms of what I'm doing here, sensitizing the people of Rivers State, sensitizing Niger Delta people, and also taking a stand so that whether it's the whole world that is listening in, whether Donald Trump is listening in, anybody that is listening in, I have been working for the interests of my people, my region, for a very long time, for 22 years. It's not now that I'm going to find myself in a place where I will retract anything. But a day for that discussion will come when that day arrives. So going forward, I want to say that the fact that I touched on the border issue, and by a few days ago, or a day or two ago, that the governor also have come out to say that the state assembly have actually gone ahead, and he has signed the bill that the communities that border the communities where our where our borders are, that the people of those communities should be able to defend those borderline areas. By defending, I mean that the youths who are not now working should be employed to take care of those borders day and night, to make sure who is coming in and who is not going out. So this is something that the governor has done, and I'm very happy, and I commend him for doing this. And he has done some other things that since the 18th or so of March, when I started broadcasting outside, that he has done, and that is great. And it still brings us to the fact. Another fact I want to I wanted to raise is the one that the disease control, the head of the disease control came to River State, and he held a meeting with the governor, and he made a statement. It's a very long statement that I read, that was issued by the River State government. And the things that I was interested in was the fact that he had commended Governor Wike, and he has said that he commend him for the very strong stand that he has taken to make sure that COVID-19 is kept out of River State, and that he has done well. Now, I have intelligence, and I take that to mean that, including the fact of the issue of people being flown in to River State to do, i.e., essential work. What is this essential work? The essential work is not, they're not flying in doctors to come and save lives. They're not bringing nurses. They're not bringing drugs. They're not bringing equipment to River State. They are flying in personnel to come and work to extract oil and gas from River State, and to these people to come in. Now, the federal government has a right to the airspace. River State belongs to Rivers people, and if River State is shut down and you must come in to do essential work, that means to Rivers people, you have to be clear that you do not have COVID-19, because you're going to go in and work with other people, and you're even going to come in contact with other people that may or may not also have COVID-19. Therefore, as you come into River State, you must prove that you don't have COVID-19. And if you can't show that proof, then you must allow River State to test and make sure that you don't have COVID-19. I don't see where that is a difficult issue for us. And so that is what I believe that the chairman is the director, chairman, whatever, of the disease control, the Center of Disease Control, is commending Governor Wike for. That's one thing. I need to be corrected, but I do not think so far that Governor Wike have received any amount of money or any equipment. If he has, and he has mentioned it and I've missed it, then I'm sorry. But if he has not received and he has not mentioned it, then I stand on that Rivers State have not received anything from federal government. Now, if that be the case, I want to caution that Rivers State nor any other Niger Delta state should allow itself to be cajoled or blackmailed into accepting people outside of the state or outside of the region to bring in their own people, because maybe we have 100 beds and we have maybe 10 ventilators, and because right now we're only using 2 or 10, that we should allow other people to come and use the ones that we're not using. No be like that. It's not like that one little bit. It cannot be like that, because I've seen the pictures and the videos of what other states are putting together, what Lagos State has, which some the Center of the Disease Control had that even during Ebola time, and also the ones that Rivers State has, which the chairman or the director is commending Wike for, then we should not, under any circumstances, because I'm beginning to notice that that's how they are going now. Before you know it now, they come and praise Wike while they are also fighting him, with the intention that they will now bring people, fly people in from outside into Rivers State. That cannot make any sense whatsoever if we're keeping COVID-19 outside of Rivers State. And people may say, oh, but the EU are flying, Germany is allowing Spain to come in. That's because they have European Union and they are working together and they're sharing. Rivers State, the Niger Delta State, nothing has ever come to us. Instead, things are being taken away from us. I also want to caution that it has come to my notice, the notice of the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement and the convener, that is me, that the NDDC is giving contracts in the name of COVID-19. This is at the very least, this does not make any sense whatsoever, because the NDDC is for Niger Delta. So if you're going to do this, then if you don't do it by discussing with the governors of Niger Delta, and then you get up and start dishing out money, when the NDDC itself is in the eye of the storm, where we have we're still to commence the forensic auditing for the NDDC, this is not acceptable. Because if you don't discuss with the governors, how do you know what is needed in the state? You're supposed to work with the people and the governors of the state, not independently. This must stop. And the governors must take their stand. And the people of the Niger Delta and the other oil-producing states of Ondo, Abia, and Imo must also take their stand. So therefore, it means that Southwest, because Ondo is in Southwest, and Imo and Abia, that is Southeast, and the other 6 Niger Delta states, making it 9, which are oil-producing states, must work together from here on, so that we are in sync with each other. Because you cannot have a situation where in some parts of Nigeria, a religious body is opening its doors, playing football, doing burial. And then in other parts of the country, another religious body is not able to do the same. These are not acceptable to us, but it is in our interest that we take responsibility, the Christendom take responsibility, and as we take responsibility, we should be able to move forward and make demands from our governors, from our senators, and from our federal government. Now, so much is at stake, and it is our responsibility. Now, anybody that wants schools to be open, please, for now, if you're a parent, and I am one, if my children were of primary school age, secondary or university school age in Nigeria, there is no way I will say that my children should go back to school, because the majority of schools attendance level is much higher in the south. And so when a government now says schools should open, that exposure is being targeted at the places and states where there are more schools. You see, people must, this is life and death. That is the way it is. Whether you like it or you don't like it, is life and death. Some people won't get it, some people will get it. Some people will die from it, some people will not die from it. But what we want is for people not to get it where we come from, and for people not to die from it. It's as simple as that. Now, we must also keep record of what our governors, our senators, our representatives have done for us during this time, and compare it to what the federal government have not done for us and what the federal government are doing for others. And as a matter of fact, when it comes to this issue of saying lying or not lying, now the minister that is called the Minister of Welfare or whatever, is saying that every Nigerian, which includes you and I in Rivers State, is being given palliative. Every Nigerian is being given palliative. This is just recently. I'm not even talking about school feeding. Let's not even go there. Those are things that we will also discuss in the future. But right now, when you say that you're giving palliatives to every Nigerian, and then you also say that it is only for people who have less than 5,000 naira in the account, and people who are buying only 100 naira, credit time for their phone per time, that will get this money. I mean, what is wrong with the people who are thinking? When you say that you are giving it to every Nigerian, and you're not giving it to people in Rivers State, you have lied. You have misinformed us. Misinformation is a lie. It's fake news. So, as far as I am concerned, anything that does not happen to Rivers State and Rivers Indigene, Bayelsa State and Bayelsa Indigenes, and you claim that it is being done all over Nigeria, you're lying. And there are so many proofs of that. Anyways, we want to try something this morning. The telephone numbers is what we need to. I need to read out the telephone number, because we're trying to see if we can come if we can receive calls. Let's try this now. We are going on Skype. The Skype is open where I am, and the Skype is open in the in the studio. Well, I'm getting a little shake disagreement. The number is 08181 442222. And okay, all right. No, not yet. Hello. 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 We're trying to get it going. The call came in. I could hear it, but very faintly. So let's see whether it will work again. So I've called out one number. I think the other number may not be available. So let's try and see if we can get the call. Working. There is a lot of work to be done. There is a lot of advocacy to be done. Okay. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Yes. Good morning. Good morning, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Bring it to the court to this side. You understand? Once the call comes in, this call.
Hello, I'm hearing. Hello. All right, let me go on with Hello.
Hello. Go ahead.
Hello. Yes. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from, please? Hello. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, well, maybe by next week it will get better, but the lines are still open. You can still call 08181442222. That's the line that is open. You can try again. Well, hello? 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 Okay, go ahead. What's your name? Yeah. Well, I mean, there was too much static on the call. I'm trying to see if it can be better with my earpiece. So you need to call back. We need to have other calls back. All right. Hello. Hello. Good morning, sir. Go ahead. Okay, how you dey? How you dey? Okay, we all dey lock down, lock in, lock out. So it is well. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Mm. Yes.
You there? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Because that says home.
Yes.
That's why they're confusion. I think the number of the cases they rise in it overnight, like they say, local power.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have got a point there, which is where you have a point there, which is the fact that perhaps there is a lot more to the figures, and a reason that these figures are this high in Kano State. But basically, the reason for us to be more careful is that we have to be careful, and Wike has to continue to do what he's doing in the interest of our people, no matter what the obstacles are, and no matter how difficult it is. There is I don't know, Martin, if you're hearing me, but there is a lot of noise in the. Hello.
That delay, I need to let my question.
Well, there is still a lot of distraction. There is still a lot of interference. We will get it right, and this just shows the. And this. Hello. Hello. Yes. So good morning. Your name and your question, please, or your contribution.
Hello.
Hello. Go ahead.
I agree with you 100% on what you're saying. You know, we are in Nigeria. When truth is bitter, when somebody says truth, people don't like it. Truth is bitter, and when somebody starts to play something and he starts maybe romancing with the truth, that is when some people will begin to like that person. But truth, it needs to have to be told. What winter is doing in rivers, I know to amend is harmful, but we are 100% with him. But for federal government, let them continue doing what they are doing. Or they don't know that they are separating us more. Let them do. It's no lie what they are saying. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you and stay safe. Thank you. Well, I mean, definitely we take note and the world is taking note. But what do we do? What do we get out of this? How do we move forward? This is what this is all about. This interaction on this program. This is what I've always done, to sensitize our people with the truth, so that our people. Hello.
And then because what I want to suggest question. What I want to say is that many of the food this river state.
Okay, well, that call has gone off. There is a lot of. If I say that I heard everything that you said, it's not true. I didn't hear. So I think we may have to resort back for now to be able to just receive the questions, because I can hear for me to be able to receive. For me to receive the questions so that I can answer them, because I'm really not hearing. Maybe I should go back to
Hello, go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Hello?
I'm hearing you. Hello? Go ahead. I'm hearing you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I thank you for the analysis you are making over the radio concerning Lagos State, Kano, and the entire aftermath. But I want to take it here clear. You people, when you see the handwriting on the wall, which doesn't need any interpretation, we see it. This place is not regarded as. I'm calling from Duke. And the citizen of Duke. This place is not regarded as how Nigeria. So South East and the South are not regarded. What happened to the trucks of thousands of trucks of rice? They said they are giving out at Pagetti. Which one came here? Even the electric they are sharing, which one has ever come here? So we don't need to order ourselves any longer. What we do, what we say. And you people in the studio, you see everything clearly. Yes. They are not giving us the correct information. We don't belong to that side. No federal collective is here. Even the money they share to Lagos State and the other places, Abuja.
Okay, so what? Okay.
My name is Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. I don't know. Hello. Okay. Hello.
Go ahead, please. Hello, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, my name is Chibedeke. I'm calling from Niger. I want to talk about why government and the members, like you said, people have been just certain life. Those life, instead of what they want to do, they are going to do this for us, do that, and people get in, and everything will turn upside down. And it's levels of COVID-19 they're talking about. We don't even know if it works that hard or less than it. why is that? As basically in Nigeria, we don't know the truth. We don't know if they are saying the truth. We don't know if they're saying lies. People are coming out. People are telling themselves that these people are telling them lies. They come out and they just confirm the disease and spread it everywhere. We need to do something about this life. I like what you're saying, madam. I don't really know how to even add to say more. So this government people to do something. We talk about sharing money. Sharing money about people that have need for 100 aircraft for what? If the money, the suffering or something here, can they see that the country is suffering? Now, we are depending on the oil that everything is going down, the economy is getting worse, everything is getting worse. And people are saying, if you say anything you want to say because they are leaders. Okay, so just want to thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, okay, we still have like about 6 or 7 minutes.
So it's too behind because she's talking on Skype then. You understand? James, I know the kind of traffic so I need to hear.
Hello?
Should I take another call?
Yes. Yes.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead, we can hear you.
Good morning.
Move away from your radio.
Let's come into that because we in the beginning of River State, we don't even know what is happening. Now, you talk about when they are paying this money. The federal government refused to give us our own share in River State here. Why is it that we should know that he himself on his own should know what to do? Okay, we have a return that we pay to federal government. River State have a return to pay to federal government. Now, we are not paying. We should use that money and settle his people. Not allow people die in hunger. Because everybody in River State, yes, okay, they share 2 billion. He said that he released 2 billion. Now, the 2 billion that he released will not go to anybody. They share rights of part of those areas. And the River State should not have anything. Imagine how many people that are in River State. And River State wants to 6 million. When it comes to 2 billion that we get that he has released to people. Now, this thing that people are talking about, you know the truth, and people don't want to say the truth. The masses, the River State living, they are suffering. It's not all about, okay, what are we going to do? Because everybody in this state now, they are angry. I cannot sit down and wash my hands. Niger is not trying. My name is Godwin Ujiri. See, Niger is not trying. For me, I am a River State citizen. Niger released 2 billion to the young people. Fine and good. The money was not being shared. And at the end of the day, we are not getting any result out of it. They buy rice, they do this other one, they share indomie. How many packets of indomie on this River State? If that 2 billion naira should come to us, if they get that 2 billion, the River State CBA are never produced 2 billion. Now the money did not fine.
Okay, like look, I have only 5 minutes left on this program. Is 5 minutes. I think. Excuse me, you have made your point. You have made your point. You need to allow me to respond. 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 Hello? 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 Thank you very much. Okay, now, you raised a lot of issues. Now, first of all, you said we people in the studio. Let me make this very clear to you. This program, Saving the Niger Delta with Ankyo Breaks, is my program. I pay for the program to broadcast this type of information for us, for our
this is not directly on Facebook page.
For our good. Now, if you say that Wike is not trying, then that obviously you have a reason why you're saying Wike is not trying. I'm not here to agree or disagree with you, because I'm not receiving palliative. I'm not asking for palliative. I did hear that the governor himself, I heard him say that he has released 2 billion naira for palliatives. I agree with you on that one. And I also heard him later that he was not very happy with the way that it had been distributed. I also agree with you. Now, how many people are in Rivers State? I don't know. That is why I said in my past broadcast that we don't have data. So if we don't have data, it will be difficult to share palliatives, because we don't know where we're sharing them. The data should be able to tell us who are the people that need this palliative the most. You give to those people first. The widows, the people who don't have work, the people who do daily work, who cannot now do daily work. So you prioritize the people. But we don't have the data. We don't have the structure to do this. And so this is not just a problem that Wike have created. It is a problem that is in the whole Nigeria. We don't have a census figure, so we can't do palliative and do it well. So, but that is for the government to defend themselves. Now, what I will not allow and not look to be allowing is for anybody to take the opportunity of phoning in and using the program to now express their political leanings in what we are discussing. I'm not discussing any political leanings or ideologies on this program. And so the fact that palliatives are not reaching people, the people who were unemployed before COVID-19 came are still unemployed. There were people who were not employed, who don't have a job, that before COVID-19. We should not forget that. It's not as if everybody was working and everybody was able to eat 3 times a day. And now that COVID-19 has come and people are staying at home, that they're not able to eat. No. So if the palliatives, if for instance, people are asked, I personally would have said, do it like this or do it like this, it will work. But I'm not in government. I'm not part of government. So you cannot come on my program and give the idea or the impression that anything I'm doing is in my own personal interest or in the interest of Governor Wike himself as a person. No, my interest is the government of Rivers State, which belongs to me and you. And when we're talking about palliatives, you people are talking about the thing not being shared well. We're also saying that the federal government have left us out. So on that note, we will still be back next week. This is not a political program. It is a program for the people. It is a program for truth. It's a program for expressing what the truth is and how we feel about what is happening in Rivers State and what is happening in the Niger Delta. On that note, I thank you for tuning in. My name is Ann Kubricks, and I hope that you will tune in again. I hope that you will tune in again next week. Rivers State first, Rivers State first, and Rivers State first, and Niger Delta first. That's it. Thank you very much. God bless you and stay safe. Thank you.